pack that thing.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Tonight is the March 28, 2019 Town Board meeting. Everyone, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Since there's so many students here tonight, I only have brief announcements. This was a busy month, as usual. First, I'd like to mention Barbara Dolan. She served as our town East Fishkill receiver of taxes for 18 years. She passed away earlier this month. Barbara was married to Tom Dolan, who was the Dutchess County Court judge and mother to Claudia Heckert, our receiver of taxes currently. Barbara was an institution of our town government, and on behalf of the 30,000 residents of East Fishkill, we express our deepest sympathies for her family and know that she will be sorely missed. I started the month with a meeting at the Dutchess County Mayors and Supervisors. This time I brought our town controller, Mark Posniak. The association had a guest speaker come, New York Class. New York Class is a local government investing pool. They provide service to invest funds on a cooperative basis with short-term investments. It's secure and it's only for municipalities and fire districts can invest with them. I am going to have them here next month to give a presentation to the whole town board so you can hear what they have to offer. It's pretty good, actually. We also discussed issues with Dutchess County Civil Service. It seems that all the municipalities have some sort of issues with Dutchess County Civil Service. Every town in the county, actually. Anyway, all the towns, cities, villages, they have issues for hiring, firing, everything in between. It seems that it depends on who your coordinator is, I guess, with civil service, and there's unfortunately different protocols for different towns. That's what it seems to be when we have discussions with each other. The Mayors and Supervisors Association, they have made a subcommittee to present these issues to the county leadership, and since I'm one of the more vocal supervisors, they asked me to help. So we'll gather information from all the municipalities, and we'll present it to Dutchess County Civil Service and the County Executive's Office, so I'll keep everybody informed on how that goes. Some members of the Business and Economic Development Committee, we have started a subcommittee, most namely Mike O'Brien, Jacqueline Kaufman, and our Councilman Marinaro. They are reaching out to the local businesses. We have developed a postcard that went out to local businesses, and it gives some information about what the committee is actually doing and how the business can get involved with the town to receive information. There's a link on our website, at the bottom of our website, in the orange area, where you can click on it and you can enter your business name and information. And this way we could send you information when we're going to have meetings possibly to discuss traffic projects, zoning changes, and really anything else that will affect the business community. When we have a substantial list of businesses, we will start to have information sessions. I'm hoping for May to have the first one, and keep the business community informed about possible traffic project that is going to be coming down 82 if we are awarded a grant from New York State. So, you know, it's important to reach out to these businesses because a lot of them, they don't know what's going on in the town government. So sometimes the correct information doesn't get passed along to them. So this is a situation where we can give them the correct information. So I'd like to thank them all for starting this subcommittee, and especially Mike O'Brien. He helped create the postcard, and he actually went out and went to over 200 businesses himself to hand them out. So thank you to him. And if you haven't received the postcard, please look online. Like I said, it's at the bottom of the website in the orange area, and it says East Fishkill Economic Committee Business Forum. So you can sign up there and receive all the information. We've been moving forward with our grant project at Hillside Lake. The town engineer and highway department have started to have meetings with Stephen Gruber's staff. We're coordinating all together. A few weeks ago, we had some machines actually last week, we had some machines out at the lake to dig out around the second valve. It had to be opened. There was a lot of rock and debris that was blocking it. So we really couldn't get people in there to remove that by hand. So we needed the machine to assist the highway department there. And the engineer was there to oversee the work. And they have opened the second valve. And I'm sure that the residents noticed that the level of the lake has been lowering. Also, the highway superintendent will be removing about a foot of the sand there at the playground area. It's all dirty, has all sorts of stuff in it, and we'll be removing it and replacing it with some of the rubber mulch. And once we get a handle on what's going to happen for that area, because we might need some of that area for staging, for the work to be done for the grant, then we could plan on doing a nice surface there, something possibly like we have at Julie's Jungle. So we'll be looking into that. Also looks like Dutchess County Department of Health is starting to administer the Septic System Replacement Fund. They have identified eligible properties in Hillside Lake and Sylvan Lake that they could participate. Today I met with Marie Burley, she is the Department of Health Director, and Catherine Tegmeyer, she's now the new Assistant Commissioner of the Department of Health. They have this program, and it's going to provide up to 50% of the eligible cost of a septic system replacement. Up to $10,000 is the max per project. An eligible septic system project means a replacement of a cesspool, a septic system, installation, replacement, upgrade of a septic system, or septic system components, or installation of enhanced treatment technologies. Because at Hillside Lake, we know that there are shallow septics and very close together. So the health department does encourage to have the enhanced treatment technologies as a replacement. So you have to apply for the grant. The homeowners are given a deadline of May 19th. Now, I had a problem with that deadline because it doesn't give people a lot of time. So I discussed with the director and the assistant commissioner today that once they will keep that deadline, but if they don't have enough applicants, there's $75,000 in the fund right now to be divvied up. If there's not enough applicants, then the remaining time to apply for the grant will be open-ended. So the applicants will either receive a grant award letter or a grant denial letter after you submit your application. Those who receive the grant award letter will be asked to sign a document acknowledging that they accept the terms and conditions of the grant. The grant awardees then will hire professionals like an engineer or surveyor to design the improvements and submit them to the Board of Health for approval. Once it's approved, then they can have the contractor complete the work. The Board of Health will inspect the improvements for the residential projects. Commercial projects will need to be inspected by consulting engineers. The program will provide the grant on a reimbursement basis only. So you have to lay out the money, and then they will pay you back for 50% of it, up to $10,000. And the county's agreement with the EFC, which is funding this program, ends in 2022. So these funds, if they're not exhausted right away, we have this available till 2022. So if we are going to have a link on our website where you can click on it, and it will automatically put you at the Dutchess County Department of Health's website where the application is. And if you need assistance in filling out this application, we can help you. Just call our building department, and somebody there will help you. And also along the way, if they have other questions to be answered, if they need to contact somebody at the Department of Health, we can assist you with that. So please use us. We're here to help you, and I hope that some people will sign up. There was 150 properties that were sent letters from the Department of Health. Right now, their purview is 250 feet around each lake, and all those people have received letters. So if you received a letter and you want to participate, please do so. Our Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney had a town hall meeting here on Saturday, March 9th. It was very well attended. Thank you to all the council persons for coming out and the residents who came out. The congressman has indicated that he wants to have more of these town meetings, so he could keep you updated on to what's going on, and I will keep you updated as to when they will be. I will be meeting with the congressman soon to discuss federal projects going in our town. If you need any information about the microgrid that the FEMA gave the grant for the Four Corners area, please contact the congressman's office, the Newburgh office. The number is 561-1259, and you can get all your questions answered by the congressman's office. I had a meeting with the police chief and the company who is the lowest bidder for the replacement for cameras and the expansion of cameras. We have some outdated cameras and the need for additional cameras in other areas of town. And the new ones to be upgraded at the police department, which is going to be really nice to have. Actually, we have a resolution tonight to approve that system. We had a great meeting, and the person to install them is very competent, and the chief was very happy with him. So thank you to all who attended that meeting. Also, Councilman Marinaro and I attended another supervisors meeting at the police department. We have these monthly. They're very helpful to keep us up to date of what's going on at the police department. The police department will be getting very busy. Spring is here. The nice weather's coming. The parks will be open. More people will be on the roads. More construction happening. That means the RPD will be very busy. And they are prepared. They are always prepared. They're prepared for every scenario to meet all the immediate and short-term needs of our community. They do a fantastic job, so thank you, Chief, to you and your staff. There was another meeting held with our Southern Dutchess Coalition of towns, East Fishkill, Wappingers, City of Beacon, villages of Fishkill and Wappingers. Like I've mentioned in the past, we formed this collaborative group to help each other with water and sewer needs. This month, we signed a letter that is going out to LBG Consultants. They will be looking at the mapping of all our municipalities' interconnection capabilities. We're all in agreement to move forward with this, and we also agreed that we have to take a look at our future water sources and storage. Like I've been saying, it's difficult to get a deal with Dutchess County, water, wastewater, and the Poughkeepsie Joint Water Board, so we have to pretty much make our own destinies about water for our future. In the same vein, I had a meeting with Global Foundries this week, and we discussed water also. They too have not worked out an agreement with Dutchess County for a very long time. Their running joke was that when they started the water discussions with Dutchess County, their attorney was not married, and now the attorney is married and having her third child. So they're hopefully going to have an agreement by the time they have their grandchildren. That's what they say. This has been very problematic. It's a very bureaucratic agency, both of these agencies to deal with. It seems to me that having no agreement is better for them. I will be having another meeting with Global Foundries and the County Executive's Office soon, and hopefully we can make some progress here, because we really do need a water assignment. I'll keep everyone updated as to that situation. I've been having many meetings with the highway superintendent, the town engineer, the town comptroller, the town attorney about our roads. We've been in very deep conversations about it. We're looking at the winter roads budget right now to see if we could use some of that. We have to leave enough, obviously, for the end of the year in case we have some storm events come November, December. But we could probably use a bunch of money from that was left over from our winter snow removal budget. I've been discussing many different options with board members, and collaboratively we need to have another discussion, possibly at our next workshop or the one after that, to see what our options are. You know, so many of our town roads, they are going into major disrepair. Soon we're going to be at the point where we need to reconstruct the entire road from the base up. Road repair and maintenance is very costly, and if we get to the point of reconstructing the roads, will be a very precarious situation for the town, because the cost will be 5 times that of repaving a road. Even though we have been increasing our roads paving budget, we increased it $100,000 last year, that's pretty much a drop in the bucket. East Fishkill has more town miles of road than any other town in the county. We have over 211 town miles of road. Several years ago, our former highway superintendent did a road assessment, and it was not very favorable at all, and that was 3 years ago. The conditions of our road is probably the most dire than they've ever been. It's very urgent that we deal with this situation. We can only Band-Aid the roads for so long. This is the #1 complaint that my office gets day in and day out, is about the roads, and I bet every person sitting here does also. So for this year, we've identified several roads that we're going to pave and multiple roads that we'll be doing major repairs. We're trying to come up, though, with a more aggressive plan. The town roads, they're considered our town assets. By state law, we must maintain them to a certain level. You know, the state should be giving us more money for them, but they don't. Dutchess County could be giving us more money, but they don't. Actually, they don't give us anything for our roads. You know, Dutchess County, they sit on a very large fund balance. They got this fund balance by taking the towns and villages' share of our sales tax. So, you know, Orange County last year across the river had a very nice sales tax windfall at the end of 2018. And what did they do? They shared it with all the municipalities. How they did it, I don't know, but I'm looking into it. The Mayors and Supervisors Association has repeatedly asked the county for more money for our roads. They say they just cannot give us a check for that, because by law they can't. Well, they could give us money for other things that will free up our budget to put the money into the roads. So, as you can see, I'm very upset with this. It seems like the buck always lands on the smallest municipality, and I don't think that's very fair. But we have to deal with it, and it's our town, so I'll be continuing the discussion with all of us here. Councilman Franco and I had a Veterans Council meeting here yesterday. We had a few more volunteers come in who want to get involved, which is absolutely terrific. We are planning to do an event. I'm sure you'll bring that up later on. Also, I've been in contact with Mark Coviello, the Director of Dutchess County Veteran Affairs. He's requesting the town to consider a Veterans Liaison position to Dutchess County. He wants every town to have one. I told him the entire board has been very involved with our veterans, but Councilman Franco is the co-founder of our Veterans Council and of our Hometown Heroes program. And the director agreed that he would be a good choice. So, Councilman, I volunteered you for the position.
Thank you.
You'll be in partnership with Dutchess County Division of Veteran Services. You'll communicate with the veterans' needs and ceremonies that go on, and take an advisory role on matters of Veterans Affairs. So good luck,
Proud to
Councilman.
meet 3 days a week. Proud to do it. 6 a.m.
Finally, I'd like to share something. A few weeks ago, I was at Mass, and the priest said a little story about an older couple who attended church. And the wife said to her husband, "Do you see Mrs. Smith's hat today? It was really awful." The husband said, "No, I didn't notice." Then she says, "Did you notice the children sitting in front of us? Their clothes were all ragged and dirty." The husband said, "No, I really didn't notice." And then she says, "Did you see Bill? He really needs a haircut." And the husband said, "No, I didn't notice that either." Then she turns to him and says, "What do you get out of going to church?" So the moral of the story is that people try to see the good in everything. Some people do. Negative people will always breed on negativity, and I'm a true believer in positive thinking. All of us sitting here on this board are here to help the residents of East Fishkill, to have a better life, to make the best for our town. If anyone tells you different on social media posts or anything else, then please take a pause for a moment and think about it for a moment. Those people are trying to hold back our town. They want to hold back our progress, hold back our better way. Everyone here gives up something to be here, whether it's their family, work, or leisure time. And and why we do it is because we want to help our veterans, we want to help our seniors, help our roads problems, help the traffic congestion, make this town more appealing to businesses, so we could shift the tax burden off of the residents and put it to to bigger businesses coming in. And why? To help our town, to make it better. It really upsets me when, there's perfidious remarks on social media, only by a few, I should mention. But these people, they want self-congratulations placed upon them. And if anyone wants to know what's going on, please call me. I always say it. My office is open all the time for anybody to call and contact me. 221-4303. You need to know what's going on. I will answer your questions, and if I don't have the answer, I will get it for you. So please, please contact me if you have a question about something. And with that,
You didn't eat once last month?
no, I didn't. Town Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Councilperson Cassidy?
Present.
Councilman Marinero?
Present.
Councilman Franco?
Present.
Councilman Beepin?
Present.
Supervisor Del Sandro?
Present, thank you. Tonight, we have two public hearings. The first public hearing is to amend the vehicle and traffic regulations. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now opened. Okay, so, Town Attorney, would you give us a little review about this?
Sure. This local law would streamline the process by which the town board sets traffic regulations in the town. Town board has the authority to put up, direct stop signs, yield signs, and speed limit signs not below 30 miles an hour on town highways throughout the town. So this local law brings us a little more into the modern way of doing it, where the town board can set these regulations by a simple resolution adopted at a public meeting. And if you adopt the law tonight, the first one that's proposed is at the request of Dutchess County to make no parking along Beekman Road, which is a county highway in the entire town of East Fishkill.
Yeah, Dutchess County contacted me earlier this year that they are doing some work on Beekman Road. It's a county road. So, Tom, how would that affect the town board? Would have a no parking be permitted along Beekman Road, but that's a county road.
Yes, but you have jurisdiction to regulate at the request of the county, and the
Okay,
county's
very
made the
good.
request.
So we have to pass this law in order to regulate that?
Correct.
Okay.
But also, the law itself will be forever on the books
Yes.
now, and you'll be able to,
So
when
then
a
we can do it by
subdivision comes
resolution
in
from now on.
and they put stop signs up, it'll be a resolution of the town board to authorize those stop signs.
We don't have to have then a public hearing to amend
Public
the
hearing,
law, right?
publication, et cetera.
Okay. Anybody from the public wish to speak on the vehicle and traffic regulations in the town of East Fishkill? No, Chief, you can't. No. Any board members wish to comment or question?
Nick,
Yes.
Tom, I'm not quite sure. Did you say that the town will have the jurisdiction to lower the speed limit?
No,
No,
no.
not anything under
The
30?
town board, as you know, cannot lower the speed limit below 30 miles an
Okay,
hour
okay.
without permission of the Commissioner of Transportation.
okay.
But between 55 and 30, the
Yeah.
town board can set speed limits on town highways.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else wish to speak for or against? Board members? No, it's pretty cut and dry.
It is.
Okay, so with that, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Do I have a motion to adopt the local law?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Local law is adopted. Do I have a motion to, for the resolution to establish parking traffic regulations in regard to Beekman Road?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank Thank you very much. See, clerk? That went well for you. Public hearing number 2. Do I have a motion to open public hearing on Second Amendment to the townwide water improvement area with respect to Revere Park and Fishkill Plains?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing's now opened. Everybody received the town engineer's memo to describe what this really is about. Would the town engineer please give us a little review on this?
Sure. Back in 2016, we prepared a map plan report for the establishment of the townwide water improvements in the town of East Fishkill. In that report, we analyzed multiple water systems within the town and described certain improvements that at the time we saw the need to implement. In the 3 years since that original report, there have been changes along the way. Fishkill Plains, we did a well rehab with some success. We're about to acquire Worley Homes. The EPA project is moving forward, and we're starting to get costs in and what that project's going to cost. So basically, we've been updating this original map plan report as new information comes in. If the board recalls, at the last meeting, we reviewed the First Amendment to this map plan report.
Right.
Which was to provide funding for the EPA water line, and kind of really focus in on the requirements of that project, once they became well aware of the Board of Health requirements and everything involved with that project. We also adopted the Worley Homes Water District, which was mentioned in this report as, looking ahead to that report, but we've now actually, did the map plan report and in the process of forming that district. The Second Amendment focuses on Fishkill Plains and Revere Park. There is an overlap with Worley Homes as well, which is described in here. There is some sharing of infrastructure. So basically, in summary, what this amendment specifically describes is the rehab of the 2 wells, the decision not to connect the 3rd well, but instead run a new line down 376, which we've talked about in the past. That'll also provide, in addition to additional water, it'll also give us redundancy for that system. So if we have to rehab those wells again in the future, which we will, we don't have to worry about an emergency connection as we did in the past with Dutchess County. We provide our own water, and to avoid that. It provides for Revere's Park connection to Fishkill Plains. And again, there is an overlap with Worley Homes, and all that work is described in the Worley Home report. So if there's any other questions?
So it is, a bit confusing if the board, last month, we also had the public hearing on the Hopewell North Water District. So it's, how it's best to be described is, all these districts overlap somewhere. So everybody has to pay their fair share of what that is going to be. And it's described in each of these map plan and report, like the last one also. So that's probably pretty much the best way to describe it. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? The engineer can answer them.
So, are the costs being provided to the community as far as they being placed on our website, or not yet? I mean,
No, they have not been placed on a website yet.
No, not yet.
so do you mind briefly,
His reports are,
is this on?
his reports are part of the agenda packets that's
Oh,
been,
yeah,
have
it
been
is on.
posted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
Scott to read some of the,
no, it's on.
Oh, you mean,
Costs.
I thought you meant on a separate
No, it's
part of the
part of the
website.
packet.
No, we put everything in the packet online, yes.
But I mean, we could put a separate,
Is that what you wanted, Councilman? You
well, yeah,
wanted-
I was asking if the cost analysis that is prepared for us, if
It
this
was
is
all
available.
put on the website
Yeah,
before the
yeah.
meeting.
Okay.
But we don't have a separate spot on the website.
Okay, no, as
Oh,
long as
okay.
the public will see
Well, I
where
mean,
the
we
money.
could too, like he said, we could put a special part on the website if people want to go just to look at the
Could,
water
water
districts.
Yeah, I think we should make it available
Okay.
so that they know, breakdown, because
And see
from time
what
to
it
time,
is.
people ask, what's going on, am
well,
I
I may
paying
not
for
think to
that?
look at it on the agenda, so we can put it on its own
Yeah.
line item.
So-
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah, if
Sure.
we could, it would be,
Yep, no problem.
So in the back, I see the Revere Park with Q&M. Their cost is a little bit higher, for instance, than Fishkill Plains. That's because Fishkill Plains already incurred some of the expenses in the past, right, Scott?
Well, not necessarily. Each district has its own debt structure,
Okay.
so that factors into it. On the estimated user cost, I think that's page 3. What I did here was just to show the current debt service, the estimated new debt service, and then a total debt service. I also included the 2016 debt service to give you an idea of where we were back in 2016 and where we are today. Now, as it turns out, some of the rates dropped in that period of time because some debt had been paid off. We lowered the rate, but now we're going to raise the rate back up, just to save people for that brief period of time. So I think you really want to compare the current rate, the proposed new rate, to the 16 rate and not last year's rate. Because like I said, some of those rates just dropped off because some debt had been paid.
So one question that I usually, the people from Fishkill Plains have asked me in the past is, will the new district that are going to be using the water be sharing in the cost that they have incurred already? And I think that in the past you have
Yes.
said that they will.
That provides that everyone shares in the well rehab and the piping replacement, their
Okay.
fair share. That's all in there,
Okay.
yes.
We just want to stress that, yes, they are.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You'll see that Revere Park's share is higher.
Correct.
Because
That's what I was
there's-
referring to before.
Well, there's less people in Revere Park,
Okay.
and it's, per benefit unit, and Revere Park needs more work. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Last month, we did the First Amendment. Any other
We
questions?
don't anticipate a third, so this should wrap
We
things
hope
up.
not.
If
The
anything,
clerk,
it
the
might be
clerk
down-
definitely hopes
Yeah,
not.
the only other area that we haven't revisited was really the John Jay service area. And that's still, as you said, up in the air with where exactly we're gonna get our water
Where
from.
we're gonna get the water, right.
So, if there were to be a third one, it would be that area.
Okay, anybody else have questions, concerns? Anybody from the public wish to speak on the Second Amendment to the map plan and report for the town-wide water improvement area? No, none of the students wish to speak on it? No? Okay. With that, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Do I have a motion to adopt the negative declaration in the order?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Thank you. Everybody received the February 28, 2019 minutes? Clerk, were there any additions, subtractions, alterations? No? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for February 28th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved, thank you. We have one addition to the agenda tonight, is to appoint appoint police personnel. We'll do that at the end. Right now, it's courtesy of the floor. It's the time of the meeting where anybody in the public wish to speak on behalf of anything that they have to discuss, anything on the agenda, anything to have with general town issues, anything you'd like. The podium is here to speak. Please use it. Just state your name for the record, please. Anybody wish to speak on anything, on any resolutions, on anything at all? No?
Come up, come up.
See their hand up. I shouldn't have done that. I'm way in the back corner. Wireless mic.
Hi, how are
What
you?
did I say? No, because my friend had a question. He wants to know what's the agenda. Oh, the thing.
What is the agenda?
Yeah.
The
over
agenda
there.
is the
Copies over
paper
there.
that tells you what we're voting on and what we're discussing here tonight,
You can get one right over there.
No, it was. Oh, thank you.
okay? Any other questions? No?
That was the same question Franco had.
Okay, Deputy Supervisor. Okay, with that, anything for receipt and file, clerk?
No.
No? Okay, we'll start with the resolutions. Okay. First resolution of tonight is granting concession facilities. Councilman Franco, would you read that, please?
Sure. Whereas on various recreational sites owned and operated by the town, there are concession facilities. The town board has reviewed requests for proposals for various vendors to utilize the concession facilities on these sites to serve the users of the facilities over the summer months. The town board has reviewed the references, the menus, and other issues pertaining to the vendors, and it is the desire of the town board to authorize the use of the concessions. Now be it resolved that the Route 376 Hopewell Recreation Concession Facility may be utilized from April 30th, 2019 through October 1st, 2019 by Amani's Kitchen upon payment to the town of the sum of $1,000, and upon agreement of the vendor to be open during all activities and events at the site as set forth in the annexed proposal, and report what the net actually was. And now therefore be it resolved that the Route 52 Complex Concession Facility may be utilized from April 30th, 2019 through October 1st, 2019 by East Fishkill Soccer Club upon payment to the town of the sum of $500, and upon agreement of the vendor to be opened during all activities and events at the site as set forth in the annexed proposal, and report what the net actually was. Now be it therefore resolved that the Red Wing Concession Facility may be utilized from April 30th, 2019 through October 1st, 2019 by Amani's Kitchen upon payment to the town of the sum of $500, and upon agreement of the vendor to be open during all activities and events at the site as set forth in the annexed proposal, and report what the net actually was. Be it further resolved that all the vendors shall sign a letter agreement as prepared by the town attorney, and provide to the town attorney for approval certificates of insurance prior to entering upon the use of the concession facilities. Renovations and/or improvements proposed in said bids shall be agreed upon after inspection from the Recreation Highway Department.
Thank you, Councilman. You know, you could do a summary of that if you wanted to.
That's okay.
Okay. So in here, do I have a motion to grant the concession facilities?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Um,
Go ahead.
We're setting this for April 30th. Some of the fields are open April 6th.
It's normally, that's how the
Normally
bid-
the
yeah,
30th?
That's normally how the bid goes, yeah.
It's until the,
That's,
30th.
that
So
was
nobody eats
in
until
the-
after the first
I
month?
guess
In the
not.
bid
opening
spec,
day?
in the bid spec, it says April 30th.
Yeah.
They know that
Okay.
when they bid on it.
Huh.
So, I have a question, though. The soccer club proposes to make improvements to the site of $1,000. Brian Horos, the president of East Fishkill Soccer, said that that's what they were.
None of those extras are gonna be addressed at this meeting. It has to be approved by the Recreation Department, and it has to be approved by, Butch.
Okay,
Yeah, so none of that's gonna be addressed.
Okay.
The only thing that's gonna be addressed in this is the actual bid.
okay, so those, I have comments for that, which I will discuss with the Rec Advisory Board then.
Yeah,
We have a meeting Monday.
Okay, great.
And the same thing for the rec park, right?
yeah,
With the
same
painting
thing.
and-
Mhm.
Any other discussion? Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 2, acknowledge April's Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. Councilman Beepan, would you read that?
Whereas Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurological movement disorder of the central nervous system, which has a unique impact on each patient, and whereas according to the Parkinson's Actions Network, the Parkinson's Disease Foundation, the American Parkinson's Disease Association, and the National Institutes of Health, there are over 1 million Americans diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, And whereas symptoms include slowness, tremor, difficulty with balance and speaking, rigidity and cognitive memory problems, and whereas although new medicines and therapies may enhance life for some, for people with Parkinson's, more work is needed for a cure. Whereas increased education and research are needed to help find more effective treatments with fewer side effects and ultimately a cure for Parkinson's disease. Whereas a multidisciplinary approach to Parkinson's disease care includes local wellness, support, and caregiver groups. Whereas April has been proclaimed as Worldwide Parkinson's Awareness Month for all to recognize the need for more research and help in dealing with devastating effects of Parkinson's disease. Now therefore, we, the Town Board of East Fishkill, do hereby proclaim April as Parkinson's Awareness Month in 2019.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to acknowledge April's Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Every year, it's beneficial to acknowledge Parkinson's disease, and this is a way the town does it, so. Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 3, authorize Sons of Italy request for the use of the rec fields. Deputy Supervisor, would you read it?
Whereas the Sons of Italy conduct their annual event to provide entertainment and fireworks to the community, and whereas the town has traditionally allowed them to use the Hopewell recreation fields for this purpose, and whereas the Sons of Italy is requesting the town board approve the use of the Hopewell recreational field from May 23rd to May 26, 2019, and whereas the Sons of Italy is requesting the town board to approve the fireworks display for Sunday, May 26, 2019, therefore be it resolved that the Sons of Italy is authorized to use the recreational field and have the fireworks display on the date requested above. Be it further resolved that the town police, town recreation department, and all other agencies of the town are directed to allow the use of the recreational field by the Sons of Italy for the fireworks display. Be it further resolved that this consent is subject to the receipt of the certificate of insurance from the Sons of Italy, indemnifying the town for any liability.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Do I have a motion to authorize the Sons of Italy request?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Where are my Zeppelis?
They'll be coming. How was weather last year for them? Did they do good? They did good? I don't remember.
They did good, yeah.
Yeah. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 4, authorized video recording system for the police department. Councilman Marinaro, would you read that?
Where the chief of police has received 3 quotes for a video system upgrade for the police department, and whereas the chief of police has recommended that the board that they accept the proposal from Custom Entertainment System, since they are the lowest quote, and whereas said proposal provides for a total price of $7,114.86. Now therefore be it resolved that the town supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute a contract with Custom Entertainment System for such equipment.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize the video recording system for the police department?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Like I said in my comments, we met with the chief and the lowest bidder, and the chief very happy with him and his work, so. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 5, set a public hearing to extend the 3 months, the moratorium for the I-zone uses. Councilman Bepan, would you read that?
Whereas the town board has recently adopted a law in regards to reviewing I-zones not abutting I-84 within the town, whereas as part of the process, town board has selected Behan Planning and Design to assist them with the process, whereas the supervisor advises that Behan Planning and Design has requested that more time to extend the study in certain areas within the I-zones of the town. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board will conduct a public hearing to consider extending the moratorium until September 30th, 2019. Be it further resolved that the town board will hold a public hearing on April 25th, 2019 to consider the extension of the moratorium until September 30th.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to authorize the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? This is just to set the date for the public hearing. We will discuss it next month. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 6, request district attorney to authorize local prosecution of town police tickets. Councilman Marinaro, would you read it?
Whereas the town board previously authorized the town attorney to prosecute New York State Police traffic tickets in the town court with the consent of the district attorney. And the police chief has requested that authorization be granted for the town attorney to prosecute traffic tickets and penal law violation other than those involving domestic violence and those occurring on school property issued by the town police upon the consent of the district attorney. And whereas this program will provide for greater efficiency in the process, and now therefore be it resolved that the town attorney is authorized to request the consent of the Dutchess County District Attorney for him and his designee to prosecute traffic violations and violations of penal law other than those involving domestic violence and those occurring on school property. And be it further resolved that upon the district attorney's consent being given to the town attorney and the police chief will implement this system.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize the prosecution of these Fishkill Police Department tickets?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 7, set a public hearing to modify the zoning procedures for architectural, Councilman Pam, would you read that?
Whereas under the zoning law, the Architectural Review Board is a separate approval board, yet their process entangled in the formal planning board process. And whereas it is the desire of this board to have the Architectural Review Board be a part of the planning board process, now therefore be it resolved that the town board will hold a public hearing to consider local law amending zoning law with respect to the planning board process. Be it further resolved that said public hearing will be held during the regular town board meeting of May 23rd, 2019, at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to set the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? There's no local law number because it's not there until we actually approve it. We will, this is just to set the public hearing. We will be discussing it on May 23rd. It's, we're trying to,
Well, in keeping with business friendly, the process is going to be consolidated into the planning process, which will prevent applicants having to go to 2 separate boards, and it should lend itself to be more efficient, cost-effective, and better for the community because it will be a more consistent review of the plans.
Expediting a little bit the process.
right, exactly. A little modernizing, we should say. Okay, with that motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 8, approve change of police department policies in regards to preventing sexual harassment and arrest procedures. Councilman Marinaro, would you read that?
Whereas to comply with the New York State regulations and laws, the policy against sexual harassment has been updated. And whereas to comply with the New York State laws and procedures, such as race, the age, etc., the police department arrest policies have been updated. And now therefore be it resolved that the next police policy against sexual harassment and arrest policy be and hereby are adopted and approved by this town board.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to approve the revised policies?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? The police chief is doing a very good job with redoing and renewing a lot of the police department procedures. So thank you, chief, for that, taking that undertaking. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 9, authorize municipal consolidation and shared services grant. Councilman Franco, would you read
Whereas the
that?
town has previously applied for a grant for the Red Wing bathroom renovation through the Municipal Consolidation and Shared Services Grants Program through Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development. Whereas it is the desire of the town board to accept the agreement authorizing the Municipal Consolidation and Shared Services Grant Agreement for improvements for the Red Wing Bathhouse and accessibility for the amount of $40,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute such agreement and accept the funds thereof.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize the Municipal Consolidation and Shared Services Grant Agreement for Red Wing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
This is badly needed.
Yes, it's
I've
a
been working for years.
nice grant that we'll be receiving from Dutchess County, $40,000 to redo the bathrooms at Red Wing Park. That might not cover the costs, but at least it's a start.
We've had a
so-
lot of public involvement also.
Yes, we
With our
have.
Think Differently Day.
Absolutely.
We've really done a lot of changes there.
Yeah, those bathrooms are decades old, and this is very sorely needed to have have them handicap accessible and to be redone, so thank you to Dutchess County. Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 10, accept the DASNY grant for Julie's Jungle. Deputy Supervisor, would you read it?
Whereas the supervisor and town board previously applied for a DASNY grant for Julie's Jungle, and whereas the town board has been awarded $150,000 for Julie's Jungle, and whereas it's necessary for the town to accept the agreement with the Dormitory Authority of the State of DASNY of New York to receive such funding, now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute a grant agreement accepting the grant of $150,000 for the purpose of expansion of Julie's Jungle.
Your students are leaving at a time.
Oh, get him.
Get them.
Chase them down the road now.
Look, here goes another one.
There you go.
Is it church?
Thank you.
Communion's over?
Thank you, Peter.
All right, thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Do I have a motion to authorize me to execute the contract accepting the DASNY grant?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
So-
Thank you. Yep, go
So
ahead.
Nick, this money is money that we already received, or that this is future money, grant
No,
money?
this is monies that we already spent, and now
Okay.
they're giving. They're giving us back, reimbursing. So thank you to Dutchess County for $150,000 back for what we spent for Julie's Jungle. It's a wonderful handicap playground. Excellent, yeah. One of the only ones in the Hudson Valley, actually. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Okay, 11, authorized resolution to accept the USTA line grant. Councilman Franco, would you read that?
Sure. Whereas the supervisor and town board previously applied for a USTA National 10 and under for recreation tennis courts, whereas the town has been awarded a grant of $1,200 to add blended lines to 3 of our existing 78-foot courts, whereas the grant is contingent upon completion and proof that such project has been completed, and now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute such project and to receive said funds upon completion thereof.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize me to accept a USTA line grant for recreation tennis courts?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Boy, tonight's the night for grants, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe we could get $14 million grant to redo our roads, and that wouldn't even cover it. Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 12, set a public hearing for the final proceedings on Hopewell West Water District and System. So we have to do the final proceedings for the Hopewell West Water District, which is Worley Homes, and for the system improvements on the Hopewell North Water District and the Hopewell Hamlet Water Districts. These are all coinciding together. We did do the First Amendment for the Hopewell North, the Hopewell North last month. Now we have the Second Amendment this month, and this is to do the final proceedings for Hopewell West and the system improvements for the North and the Hopewell Hamlet Water Districts. And I want to set the public hearing for April 25th, 2019. For those, do I have a motion?
Move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. We have one addition. Deputy Supervisor, would you read it?
Whereas the chief has interviewed one candidate to appoint as a part-time police assistant, and whereas the town board has interviewed the candidate recommended by the town police chief, now therefore be resolved that Gabriela Ferreira is to be hired under the CSEA agreement at level 4 at a rate of $16.72 per hour, and is hereby appointed as a police assistant in the police department.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Do I have a motion to accept the new police assistant?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? We did interview the young lady tonight with the chief of police, and she will start very soon, tomorrow,
Like tomorrow.
right away. And she's here tonight. Thank you for being here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. And budget transfers, we're actually going to do the budget transfer next month. And town board member comments. Let's start. Councilman, you want to start?
As always, I'd like to thank our police and fire departments for the service they provide to our town. Just two announcements from the Stormville Fire Company. They have their pancake breakfast on April 14th, starting at 8 a.m. and it ends at 11:30 a.m. Also, they'll be doing an open house during Fire Week, and that's April 27th, and that's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Also, I stopped by Unshattered on Route 82 during my hometown hotspots tour. I know the police chief had stopped there earlier on last year, and I have to say they're a phenomenal nonprofit that's located in our town. They help a lot of women in recovery and who've suffered with various abuse in their backgrounds, and they really help them recover and get back on their feet. So if you have an opportunity, please stop by there. They have some beautiful bags, according to my parents and my mom. So I would support them as best as I can. And also, the chief and I attended the CAPE meeting earlier this month. CAPE is a nonprofit that works with those suffering with substance abuse in the Dutchess County, actually the Hudson Valley area. I know the chief attends the meeting each month, and last month was my first month attending. I look forward to us continuing our work together with them and see how our town can become a better partner and help those in suffering with this disease in our area. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Franco?
Sure. Town cleanup is this Saturday, March 30th, 8 a.m. here at Town Hall.
And all these students have to be here.
We will feed you, we will give you a shirt, we will give you something to pick the garbage up with, and a bag. So it would really be great. Remember, this is your town also. We want to keep it clean. We should all be involved in this. It's a great, great morning, just an hour or two, and it's a lot of fun, and you're keeping your town clean. Opening day is April 6th, 11 a.m. in town. We're going to have the parade, as always, so leagues are all preparing for that big day. It's starting to warm up. Our highway superintendent is doing a great job getting all the maintenance guys out there, so that's good. We're going to thank Butch. Easter egg hunt, April 13th, 11 a.m. at the community center. Did I mention that this Saturday is town cleanup day? So please be there. It would be great to see everyone. 8 a.m. here. Our Veterans Committee, the supervisor mentioned earlier that we attended last night. We are working with two John Jay High School social studies teachers who are coordinating with our local veterans to conduct interviews. This is a very exciting project, I know, for John Jay, for the high school kids to interview them, and it's going to be something that's going to be done, I guess, every month or so. We're trying to coordinate that now and work with the veterans. We will also be having a Veterans Appreciation Day, which will be on Sunday, September 29th at the Hopewell Recreation. And more information on that will be coming in the future.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Marinaro?
So just a little report from the police department on March 5th. Officers from the town of East Fishkill Police Department, along with members of the Dutchess County Task Force, arrested Michael Babb, age 36, from Hopewell Junction, charging him with criminal possession of a controlled substance in the third degree, a Class B felony. The arrest of Mr. Babb is a result of a 3-month-long investigation into illegal prescriptions pill sales. Mr. Babb was arraigned by the Honorable Judge Frederick Romig and remanded to the Dutchess County Jail on a $10,000 cash bail or a $20,000 pending and future court date. Just like the town supervisor previously mentioned in his comments, since I am the liaison to the police department, on March 18th, I participated in their monthly supervisor meeting. These meetings are very important because there is a constant sharing of information between the department leadership and our town board. Since the presiding of the new police department leadership under our new present chief of police, Matt Orsino, I'm very pleased to inform our community that many new positive changes have been taking place, and some of them we went through tonight. While the chief diligently put new directives in place, not only performance and morale in the police department have improved, but moreover, I feel very confident that the men and women in uniform will be able to better serve our community. Lastly, I was also very pleased the way our chief is diligently monitoring the budget of the police department. By doing so, it will reduce future costs to the taxpayers in our community. That is what we all hope for. I also want to take the opportunity at this time to thank the great work and sacrifice of our local fire department volunteers. I want to thank you guys all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Deputy Soup?
I'd mention cleanup day, but it's already been done. I'd mention cleanup day,
Mention
but
it
it's
again.
already been done. No, I'm not gonna mention it again. I'd like to thank Ken for all the hard work and keeping the snow off the roads the last couple of weeks. And I hope you don't have to go back out again this year at all with those.
Aren't you also the founder of Cleanup Day?
Yeah, I'm founder of cleanup day. And I'd like to
Deputy
put a-
Supervisor is the founder of Cleanup Day.
I'd like to put a motion that the supervisor's comments must be limited to 4 pages.
Not- You don't have a vote on
Pages are gonna
that.
be this big next time then.
Can I
Make a
have,
motion to adjourn?
now,
hold on.
the
Ken, are
highway
you,
superintendent and the chief of police, could you have a report tonight? If you have comments to say, please?
So our street sweepers are out.
Okay.
They will make it to you guys at some point. And hopefully we're done with snow. We're gearing up for blacktop. The plant should be opening up in a few weeks, and we will be out there. One thing that I wanted to bring to the attention, Nick and I had spoke about this earlier, and Matt, is our drainage easements. I've been out looking at some drainage easements the last few days where people are complaining that they're not working. Well, when we go out there, we find, you name it, tore down fences, anything that's been cleaned up in the yard, it's all in the drainage easements. So now we have to go in and clean out these drainage easements so that they can function again. They are not places to dump furniture, yard cleanup, leaves, and that kind of debris. It's costly, it's gonna take us a few days just to get in there to clean out the debris so that we can perform our work.
And if we find the people, if they are doing that, dumping in our easements, then we will call the police department.
Absolutely. And we're gonna, once we get them cleaned up, we're gonna post it, so there's no dumping. So that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you, Highway Soup.
Thank you, Supervisor, members of council. I just have a quick announcement. We've been doing a monthly Stop the Bleed class. Put it on for the residents. It's a great way to just be safe, have your family be safe should an unfortunate accident happen at your residence or workplace or wherever you may be. However, in having these classes, they've mainly been on the weekends, so we've opened it up. We're going to have another class on a Thursday night. It's going to be April 18th. It's going to be from 6 to 9 at the old town hall next door to the police department. If you're interested in going, please contact Lieutenant John Wood at 845-221-2111.
And what's that date again, chief?
April 18th.
Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
The only comment I have is the East Fishkill Historical Society, they do monthly events. Just last weekend, For March, they did a maple syrup sugaring on the farm, which was very successful. This month, April 6th is a Saturday. Maybe some of you guys like to attend it. It's the Spring Children's Tea at 1 o'clock. They're having games, tea, hot chocolate, and desserts. They're having desserts. Deputy Supervisor. It's, the East Fishkill Historical Society is located at 68 North Kensington Drive, right off of Palin Road in Hopewell. They do a phenomenal job, and they're really trying to get to do more and more events there. So please, please help them by stopping by and partaking in what they do. It's really nice. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I
So
have a
Ken, I just got a question. You already started with the sweeping program, or you're gonna be?
We've been
Okay.
out now for
A week now, right?
about a week.
Okay, good.
Our next workshop meeting is April 11, 2019. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
For the tea?